A young flamingo cannot eat like its parents yet. Its beak is not ready. Its body is not ready. The strange filtering system that will one day turn lake water into food still has to grow. So the parent does something most people would never expect from a bird. It lowers its head and feeds the chick a thick red liquid made inside its own body. Not from an udder, not from a nipple, not from anything that looks like milk. And yet scientists still call it milk. Because in that moment, the flamingo is doing something we usually associate with mammals, turning part of the parent's body into food for a helpless baby. Birds are not supposed to have milk, but some of them do. So if bird milk is real, why do humans never drink it? The answer begins with a problem every bird has. A chick grows inside an egg, but the egg can only hold so much food. Once the shell breaks, the baby is suddenly outside the sealed system that kept it alive. Now it needs warmth, protection, and calories fast. Most birds solve this the obvious way. They bring food: insects, fish, seeds, meat, regurgitated meals from the parent's stomach. But some chicks hatch into a stranger situation. A newborn pigeon is helpless. Its eyes are closed. Its body is weak. It cannot leave the nest and search for food. It cannot digest normal adult meals properly in those first days. So the parent does something that almost looks mammalian. The inside of its crop begins to change. The crop is a pouch in the upper digestive tract, normally used to store food before digestion. But in pigeons and doves, during breeding, the lining thickens under the influence of hormones, especially prolactin, the same hormone strongly linked to milk production and parental care in mammals. Then the surface begins to shed rich, living cells. Those cells become a soft, pale, nutrient-heavy substance, crop milk. The parent does not nurse the chick from a breast. It brings the milk up into the mouth. The chick reaches inside, and the baby pigeon drinks from the parent's throat. That is why bird milk feels so strange. It is not made by a mammary gland. It is made by the digestive tract turning part of itself into food. And both parents can do it. A mother pigeon can feed milk. A father pigeon can feed milk. For a few critical days, the chick is not living on seeds from the outside world. It is living on tissue the parents produce from inside their own bodies. And the strangest part is that this food is not just filling the chick's stomach. It is shaping the chick's first days of life. Studies on pigeon crop milk have found that it contains not only fat and protein, but also immune-related compounds and signals that may influence the young bird's developing gut. In other words, the parent is not simply giving calories. It is helping build the baby's internal world before the chick is ready for ordinary food. This is not a cute metaphor. It is biology turning parenthood into a temporary organ. Flamingos take the idea even further. A flamingo chick hatches with a beak that does not yet work like the adult's strange filtering tool. Adult flamingos eat by pumping water through specialized beaks, trapping tiny organisms from shallow lakes. A chick cannot immediately live that way, so flamingo parents make crop milk too. But theirs does not look soft and pale. It can look red, orange, or pink, rich with pigments from the same carotenoid world that helps color the adult bird's feathers. That is why flamingo feeding can look violent from a distance. Two adults may lean over one chick, red liquid running down beaks and feathers, and the scene can look like the chick is drinking blood. But it is not a wound, it is food. A flamingo parent is transferring fat, protein, pigments, and immune support into a baby that is not ready to feed like a flamingo yet. And then there is the emperor penguin. A male emperor penguin may stand for weeks on Antarctic ice, balancing an egg on his feet while the female is away at sea. When the chick hatches, the mother may not have returned yet. The chick cannot wait long in that cold. So the male has a backup system. He can produce a temporary secretion from the upper digestive tract, enough to keep the chick alive for a short time until the female returns with food from the ocean. It is not milk in the mammalian sense, but it is close enough in function to make the comparison unavoidable. A parent's body creates a special food because the baby cannot survive on ordinary feeding yet. That is the real secret. Bird milk is not a drink for the world. It is an emergency bridge between egg and life. It exists for a tiny window, for a tiny mouth, in a body built around flight. And that is where the human fantasy collapses. Cow milk became human food because cows can be milked again and again. Mammals store milk in glands that can be accessed from outside the body. Humans could build buckets, barns, farms, machines, cheese, butter, yogurt, and entire civilizations around that biology. Bird milk gives us almost nothing to build. There is no udder, no nipple, no stream, no daily milking, no flock of pigeons waiting politely in a dairy line. To get bird milk, you would need to take a substance made deep in the parent's digestive tract, during a narrow breeding period, meant to be regurgitated directly into the chick. That is not agriculture, that is interruption, and the amount is tiny. A cow produces milk at a scale humans can exploit. A pigeon produces crop milk because one squab needs it now. A flamingo makes it because one strange little chick cannot yet feed itself. An emperor penguin produces just enough to buy time against the cold. Bird milk is not designed for storage. It is designed for survival. There is also the problem of what it is. Mammalian milk is a fluid secreted by glands. Bird crop milk is more like a rich cellular paste. In pigeons, it comes from cells shed by the crop lining. In flamingos and emperor penguins, the upper digestive tract produces its own version of this parental secretion. It may be nutritious, it may be powerful, it may be one of the strangest feeding systems in birds. But it is too intimate, too temporary, too biologically specific, and too difficult to collect to ever become normal human food. That is why we drink milk from cows, goats, sheep, camels, and other mammals. Their bodies externalized the system, birds internalized it. Mammal milk became something humans could steal without opening the animal. Bird milk stayed hidden inside the act of parenting. And maybe that is why it feels so unsettling. A glass of cow milk looks clean because the animal has disappeared behind the product. But bird milk refuses to disappear. It comes with a beak, a throat, a chick. A parent bending down and giving part of its own body away. So the answer is not that bird milk does not exist. It does. But it was never meant to become a bottle in a refrigerator. It was meant for one fragile life, at the exact moment between hatching and hunger. Not dairy, not a product, a private invention of evolution. And maybe the reason we never drink bird milk is simple. By the time humans could take it, the moment it was made for would already be gone. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.